Greetings. It's a beautiful July 20th day on a Sunday, and I'm standing in front of my ZIL M-4 mango, and I planted this tree in spring of 2023. It's been a pretty vigorous grower so far, and this year I got four beautiful mangoes growing on it. A few weeks ago, I barely touched one and it popped off on me. So I let it ripen inside. And when I cut it open, it took a while, maybe like 10 days, I cut it open and it was a really pale color. And I didn't really think it was going to be good. But when I tasted it, it blew my mind. It was so yummy. It had that coconut profile flavor to it. It was creamy. It came right off the seed. It was juicy. It was big. It was huge, at least over a pound. Maybe a 2-pound mango. It's a late season mango, so it's still early right now being in July because apparently they're not typically ready until August, September time. But I want to pick these other three really bad and get them off my tree so I don't lose them. And since the last one I picked a few weeks ago ripened up so nicely, I feel pretty comfortable going ahead and picking them. This is a seed apparently of a kit mango. It's a ZIL variety, M4. It's been kind of a lanky grower, pretty spread out, very vigorous, growing quickly. And I just love this tree so much. Let's go ahead and pick these other three, and then I'll ripen them up, and we'll see how they look when they're ripe, and I'll show you guys on the video. So let's do it. Wow. Here's the first one. What was interesting too is it's such an ugly mango. The one that I let ripen up, it never turned pretty yellow and had a lot of black discoloration on it, and it was green, but it got really soft, and boy was it yummy. So kind of an ugly mango, but yet a delicious mango. Wow, this one's even bigger. Look at the size of this thing. Yeah, it's got that kind of black anthracnose stuff on it. Much bigger than this one. And there's one more. Let's go ahead and pick that one. So I've been keeping these bags on them. They work pretty good, but they get wet, and that's the only thing I don't like about them. They kind of keep the fruit wet, but doesn't seem to do any real damage from what I can tell. So I left the stem on this one. You can see the stem is kind of turned brown, and it popped off really easy. There's no sap or anything like that, so I think that they're ready to pick. And the longer they sit on the tree, it's just more and more of a gamble. So not bad. 4 M4 total from my tree. 2-year-old tree pretty much. Hello, so the day has finally come to try my M4 mango. I had 4 total on the tree. The first one I picked probably a few weeks ago, and I picked it a little early, but I let it sit on the counter for about 10 days, and it ended up coming out really nice. It was delicious. But then I decided to leave the other 3 on there for a few more weeks, and I just picked them. It's probably been about 4 or 5 days, and they're super soft. It's not very pretty to look at from the outside, but the first one was also really ugly, and it turned out to be really yummy. So I'm gonna cut it open and we'll find out how it tastes. Let's do it. Very juicy. Well, that's looking good. Wow. Well, that is amazing. And it has that very distinct coconut flavor that they say it has. And it's also very juicy. And I weighed these mangoes. I forgot to look at how much they weighed, but I did weigh them when I picked them. And I think it was like 1.6 pounds, so it had some good weight to it. But I'm also, these are 2-year-old trees. So, I'm expecting the mangoes to get even more and more delicious as time goes on. But yeah, if you have an M4, let me know what you think about it and how it's been growing. Mine has been very vigorous so far. It's a very lanky, spread out grower, but it's one of my favorite trees that I have. And I just can't wait to see it get bigger and bigger and bigger and give me more and more fruit as the years come. So yeah, thanks for watching.